They speak endlessly of discipline, repeating words they do not truly understand. They ignore a deeper power, ancient and hidden. This unseen force has shaped civilizations and built empires. Stay with me and uncover the true spirit that fuels greatness. And this revelation awaits you at the end.
There's been so much hate lately on motivation. If you remember a few years ago, everybody was talking about wanting to be motivated and actually wanting to do something. And now, since the rise of fucking David Goggins, everybody thinks and sounds cool when they say, yeah bro, you don't need motivation. Let's hate on motivation. We need discipline. Motivation sucks. Motivation is pointless and it means nothing. What we need is discipline and just focus and focus and focus. And this sounds cool, right? It sounds cool, and frankly, it is cool. Hey man, I don't need to be motivated. I'm just a big Chad who can stay focused. But is this really the truth? Is this really what people are actually doing? Where they just focus completely with discipline and they don't relapse and they don't fuck up and they achieve their goals? Because if this was the path, you'd see a meteoric rise in people achieving their goals. But are we seeing that? Or are we seeing a complete revolution of basically yappers saying, yeah man, discipline, discipline. Why is this happening? Why do people just yap? Before we go deep into this, I want you to understand and deep this analogy. Motivation is like sprinting and discipline is like walking. Motivation is where you sprint and discipline is where you walk. Now let's talk about this analogy even more. Let's say person A and person B. Person A runs on motivation, so he's just sprinting, and person B runs on discipline, so he's only able to walk. Who's going to be able to reach their goal faster? It depends on the goal. If, let's say, for example, the goal will take years, well, obviously, you wouldn't be able to sprint, like just sprint for years, but you would be able to walk. The thing is, when you sprint, you obviously run out of stamina way quicker. And you might fall down, you might faint, you might fuck up. And that's why motivation alone in some kind of goals, which are usually long term, that will not proceed, that's not gonna fucking outlast you. You need more than just motivation. And that's where these David Goggins cronies start to yap, but they don't really understand the science, or not even the science, they don't even understand the truth of why people say things like this. Sometimes, and many times actually, most of the time, motivation was actually more important than discipline. I know it's like crazy to say this is like anti-self-improvement. This is like the satanic, the opposite, negative self-improvement, anti-self-improvement. But it really isn't. Motivation jumpstarts discipline. Without motivation, your fucking discipline, you trying to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day, it wouldn't exist. It wouldn't exist because motivation provides you with a why. Why do you want to do it in the first place? Why do you want to wake up at 5 a.m.? Why do you want to make the money? Why do you want to be disciplined and make the video? I was literally having a call with my editor right before I made this video, and I was talking about not sure about which video to bring to you guys, to bring to you, bro. And I was just having a bit of confusion. And then we decided to go deeper into like discipline and, oh, Ali, you have to be disciplined and everything, and you need to upload every single day and this and this and that. And then we decided to talk about motivation and how it's important or how it's unimportant. And then I just realized the thought. Whenever I'm motivated, the videos you see get pumped out and the qualities are so much better and the information that comes out is so much better. And it just made me realize everybody just spews this bullshit about discipline. When you're disciplined, it's like you're going into a battlefield just flailing a sword around. Oh, I guess I have to be here because it's a disciplined thing to do, to be in the battlefield, to show up. Hey man, at least I'm here. When you're motivated, you enter and you charge into that battlefield with an iron fist holding that shield, and your sword will penetrate through metal. But discipline is more important, bro. Look, discipline is sustainable. Discipline is sustainable. I'm not shitting on discipline. Discipline is extremely sustainable. It's what you need to stay alive, right? To stay alive with your goal. If your goal takes years, motivation will not take you all the way there. So what is the ideal scenario? Let's define motivation as the inner drive that compels you to take action in the first place, and discipline as the inner continuation, the sustained energy that makes you want to continue doing it even when you don't feel like it. Even when you don't feel like it. There's a big quote in the self-improvement space that Hamza says, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. That's a pretty good definition of discipline. That is discipline, but motivation is what compels you to take the action in the first place. Now remember the thing I said about sprinting and running? Imagine if there was person C. Remember how there's person A who just sprinted and then he fell, he fainted because he couldn't run anymore. He ran out of stamina. And then there's person B who's just neurotically walking like a robot, knowing that it's just gonna take him years upon years and he could get there so much faster and more enjoyably because he's in a neurotic state of mind. He doesn't want to fucking walk in the first place, but he's just doing it. What if we found person C? If we found person C who has a mix of motivation and discipline. Person C who's not a fucking retard like you, who just, oh, David Goggins. Man, people are gonna clip that. Fuck. Who just isn't a David Goggins crony. And he understands the importance of motivation and how it's an almost overclocking form. When it comes to the gym, the times I have made the most progress in were the times I was motivated. Granted, discipline kept me in shape for the times I wasn't motivated, but the times I actually made the most gains were the times I was motivated. The times where I made the gains when I grew the biceps in the first place were the times I was motivated. The times where I sustained the biceps so they don't get smaller, yes, that I ran on discipline. The times where I literally stayed 10 hours a day learning how to day trade. These were the times where I made so much more progress. Who's gonna do more work? The motivated guy or the disciplined guy in the short term, right? In the short term, because we're gonna get into an interesting point in a second. Imagine there's a guy who disciplined himself to work 5 hours a day. Oh man, I'm gonna do 5 hours of work, but they suck. But I have to because David Goggins and Look, I'm not hating on David Goggins. I love the guy, but I'm just doing this for explanations purpose, right? I have to do the work because discipline, even though I hate the fucking work in the first place and it's shit. But I must do the hard work because, especially when you don't feel like it. So I'm doing the hard work, but because I'm doing the hard work and it feels like shit and I hate it and I don't enjoy it, the productivity and the output that comes out is dog shit. It's dog shit. The video you'd make when you're unmotivated and you're just doing it out of neuroticism and discipline. Neuroticism means just doing it with no zest, no soul inside you. When you make a video like that, you don't help people. When you try and trade like that, you don't learn. Whatever you do, whatever work output you put in, when you go to the gym, you don't push hard. Yeah, let me bicep curl, That's fucking neurotic behavior. Discipline, too much discipline can lead to neurotic behavior. So when you do the work for 5 hours straight neurotically, and then say, finally I'm done. Let me just do whatever else. Versus the guy who's motivated to do the 5 hours of work. So not only does he do the 5 hours of work significantly more productively and better, but he actually does more work. He does more work because he wants to do the work. This isn't just an idea of sounding cool and saying, even if you don't want to do it, even if you don't like it, do it. That's not the idea. It sounds cool, but in reality, things are different than just do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Now, again, this will keep you sustained. This will keep you level throughout long periods of time where motivation dissipates, because motivation does dissipate. But what if we found a way? What if we found a way to keep it there forever? What if we found a way to keep on renewing motivation? Because the fat guy who wants to go to the gym, he's motivated, right? And he actually makes good progress. But then 2 weeks in, when he realizes he doesn't see much change yet, he actually loses the motivation. He loses the motivation and all of a sudden, he doesn't want to go to the gym anymore. What if we could recharge his motivation? What if you and I could recharge our motivation forever? Just keep on refueling and refueling and refueling. Motivation is a higher quality fuel than discipline. If you don't have motivation, think of discipline as like an emergency fuel. Now you may disagree with this whole video's idea. And let me know in the comments if you do. But the amount of progress, and you can agree with me on this though, when you were motivated, you made so much more progress than when you were just purely disciplined. David Goggins style, disciplined, right? So what if we could just renew the motivation? What if we just completely refilled and just restarted the motivation? How can we do this? Because there is a way. Before I tell you exactly how to refill and restart this motivation, I want to show you and remind you about something that's so ironic. Remember how I said motivation creates the why? But what do all these disciplined guys on TikTok you scroll, the motivational quotes, the discipline quotes that you see? You have to create the why. You have to think of the why. That is a factor of motivation. The why gives you motivation. Now, this is how you refuel motivation and stay motivated continuously, even through the darkest and most adverse trenches of your path. The way to do it is to remember and throw up papers on your wall of why you even began in the first place. You need to have an extremely strong why. Your why is the foundation of every action you take. Why did you begin going to the gym? Because you were fucking bullied for years and you could not deal with it anymore. And it pained and it tore your soul apart seeing other jacked guys get the beautiful woman you want, and you would not be defeated by this black pilling reality. That could be your why for changing your physique, for making money. Maybe it's you've seen your mother suffer for years and now you want to pay her back. You need to have a very significant why. And not only that, in times of adversity, in times of uncertainty, in times of doubt, when your first why isn't working, create new whys and slam them onto your wall. Slam them onto your wall. I have 6 papers. Those aren't whys, but I'm a big fan of throwing shit up on your wall. I have a paper right there on my wall that says that version of you. It's a visualization of the ultra peak competitive version of Ali. The ultra peak competitive version of me who never wastes time, never does bullshit. Literally is the primed, most potentially genetic potential version of my brain and body. And I just think of him and I visualize him. I am a big fan and proponent of just throwing papers up onto your wall. And for this one, it is your why. Why did you start that in the first place? Create your goals and put why beside them. And remember and bask and meditate over those whys and visualize achieving them. Remember, the whole fuel to motivation is why. Why do you even want this in the first place? It's not just, oh bro, I want to make money for the sake of making money. If you're a materialistic person, it might work for you. You want to make money because you just want to be in that red Ferrari and impress all the people whatever it is. I'm not here to tell you which whys are right, which whys are wrong. This is not the idea of the video. The idea of the video is to tell you that you need whys, because whys will fuel your motivation. And imagine if person A could sprint forever. Normal people can't sprint forever, obviously. But if we gave him a superpower, which is the continuous refueling of whys, he could sprint forever and he will dominate the guy who relies on motivation and discipline. Yeah, I'm gonna run for 30 minutes and then I'm gonna walk for an hour because I'm tired. Motivation can be used as a fuel source in the long term. Stop hating on motivation. People hate on it for some reason, and another pro of motivation is motivation actually keeps the thing you're doing enjoyable. It actually keeps it enjoyable, because remember the guy who's working for 5 hours and then he decides to continue to work for another 5 hours? That's because he wants to. Stop being a fucking David Goggins crony, bro. Do it if you don't feel like it. Find a way to make you like it. Again, there's a time for discipline. There's always times for, the fucking David Goggins mindset, understandable, whatever. Sometimes the motivation, you're not going to be good at refueling yourself. You're not going to know how. You're not going to know how to tap into your subconscious mind and refuel your why. You're not going to know how to create strong whys for yourself. That's where discipline must be used as an emergency fuel. But so many people don't know how to fucking tap into the motivational fuel. That's why this message is just spewed upon you by the big motivational guys. You need discipline. If you know how to tap into your mind, and this is a skill. This is actually a skill, by the way. If you know how to tap into your mind and find the motivation and grab it by the balls and twist it and put it into your soul, you don't need discipline anymore. Imagine how awesome life would be if you could just be motivated all the time. Now there's a million ways to do this. There's the why refueling, there's the increasing your testosterone, there's the journaling, there's a million ways to do this. But imagine if you could just have the skill of being able to consistently and forever be motivated, you would be able to run forever. So stop fucking hating on discipline. Oh bro, David Goggins. Stop. Andrew Tate, you must be disciplined all the time, man. You must be disciplined. Look, I like all these guys and I respect them significantly. And this is not trash talking. This is trash talking the cronies. The cronies who just parrot out this message without knowing what it means, without understanding the reasons as to why they're saying this. They're saying this because they know that most people do not have the intelligence, do not have the will, do not have the desire to pull out and figure out how to find the skill of just using motivation as fuel. Imagine how much of an awesome skill that would be. That's why last year I literally propelled my channel from zero to 60,000. When you're motivated, you can change your physique. The biggest changes I've ever seen in my physique were motivation. I went from $0 to over 10K a month, relying purely on motivation. Yes, times were hard, but then I reminded myself of why. Motivation is an overpowered skill. And imagine if you could have it. Yes, you would destroy the disciplined guy because you're sprinting and he is running. Or sorry, not running, he's walking. You're sprinting and he's walking. And that's why in Project 10K, you can literally get from $0 dead broke from where you are right now to 10K a month in 6 months, because I literally employ motivative, psychologically manipulative techniques into you, which make you want to get on the program and log in every day and work and work and work. It's not like these dickhead fucking programs that are so boring. I actually make it enjoyable for you so you can continue and grow and achieve the results that you want as fast as possible. That's why this program is the best on the internet. It is mine, and I'm plugging the fuck out of this because I know how good it is. I know how good it is. It's so different than all the bullshit. So if you want to get from 0 to 10K a month, learning this business model that I've built for myself, and enjoy doing it in the meanwhile, not just fucking code because you think coding will make you financially free. Financial location and time freedom will be given to you in Project 10K if you follow the principles and you allow yourself to be psychologically taken by my techniques. And if you think this is evil, get the fuck out of the channel, bro. With that being said, wish not for a lighter load, but for a stronger back.
Now, you see, motivation fuels the fire that discipline alone cannot. It is the dreamers and the inspired who change the world. But this is just the beginning. Soon you will learn something even more profound about the power within you.